So this is a video care sheet for my Bradypodion dwarf chameleons. I've had a few requests for a care sheet. I figured a video would be better than having to write something up. Alright, so they're in a cage that is about, let's just say it's 24 by 18 by about 34, I guess, tall. I'll explain what's happening up here in a second. These are do-it-yourself cages. Display cages, and it's glass in the front. It's like a sliding glass door, screen on the side and backs, and it was a screen top, but it's so dark, this screen, that I felt like it wasn't getting enough lighting through, so I had some glass cut and connected at the corners to make like a little extension. It's open top, that helps with ventilation, I guess. 48-inch fixtures that run straight across, and there's a ReptiSun 5.0 UVB bulb, and then there's a 6700 Kelvin grow bulb for the plants. There is a basking lamp here, and that's a 40-watt regular incandescent household bulb. It's on a basking spot that's about it's about 13 or 14 inches above the basking spot, so they don't get too hot. This area is usually, the basking spot is about 85 to like 88 degrees depending. Just heavily planted, a lot of climbing spaces for them. I try to keep most of the leafy plants towards the back, so this way when those get wet, it's not like wetting the whole entire cage. They do have a misting system on them that's set for two misting periods throughout the day. Once early in the morning, and usually an hour after the lights come on. They get 30 seconds of misting, and it only misses in this area right here, so they can come down and drink if they want to. And then later on, like an hour or so before the light goes out, so it gives enough time to dry up before they go to bed. Helps with humidity a little bit, so it's not too high, it's not too low. The cage has a false bottom that I did. I guess it helps me, peace of mind, I guess, so nothing gets saturated. There's no substrate. It's open. The bottom is pretty much dry all the time. The cage is dry except for when it's misted. These guys are prone to respiratory infections. A lot of people would say, you know, it's better to keep them outdoors. I live in New York City. I'm not able to keep them outdoors all the time, so you know, in the wintertime at least, this works for me. I do have two cages set up, almost identical to each other, which I swap them both out weekly. And pretty much just, I'd swap them out of this, and they'll be in here for a week, so I could clean this one thoroughly, because if you could see, they tend to poop on the leaves, and they're going to be drinking off of those leaves, so I'd like to, you know, limit contamination. I do have them together right now, only because I haven't seen any aggression, nor have I seen any courtship behavior from the male. So hopefully the female isn't getting stressed out. But I do have plans to separate them later on, and this other cage will come in handy. It is recommended. This is just a cage that I had already. It is recommended to keep them in more of an all-screen cage like this one right here. I have two other Bradypodions in here. They're probably in the back. I don't know, but they're in there. Okay, so feeding. Feeding, size appropriate feeders is a must, so the smaller the better. You know, you don't really want to overdo it as far as them eating large prey items. I do have small Pheonixworms. This helps with calcium also. Fruit flies mainly. I'm out of fruit flies right now. I should be getting my shipping in either tomorrow or the next day. I do have a B.dubia colony, and these are freshly born nymphs, and they seem to take this pretty good. As far as supplementing goes, I do Reptocal plain calcium maybe once a week, and then I do every other feeding. I do this is Rapashi Cal Plus. It wasn't a bag, but it got torn, so I put it in a container. So this is my dusting container. I do have a scale that helps to weigh them weekly. I do that when I do the cage swap. just to see if they're growing, what growth rate they have, you know, monitoring that kind of thing. I do have misting stuff, so I could spot mist throughout the day if it gets too dry or I feel like they might need a little bit more hydration. I could always come in and hand mist this and not have to take the timer off of the misting system. That's about it. I mean, moderate humidity, 30s, 40s seems to work for me. And ambient temps in the lower portion here is in like the low to mid 70s, and up around the basking spot is actually right now is about 80 something. So that works. Hopefully that helps you guys. Maybe I could get a little feeding. What I do with these guys now is I just knock the bin, and I'd get some of them on their backs, and they'll just grab onto the skewer, and I could just yeah, and then the same thing with the female. That's about it. And this is pretty much my whole setup right here. If anybody's curious about it, I'll probably do another video about it later. Alright, hopefully that helps. If you have any other questions, down in the comments, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. Thank you.